lighting for a food shoot, and what I'm going to try and do is kind of talk you through the way I do it and also the way that you can do it really cheaply. So we've got that nice big window, nice diffuse light coming in. See what we can get with that. I'm going to show you the food setup through going through this camera. So let's have a look at that. This is the cake. You can see already that nice diffuse light, just accenting that side of it, giving it sort of 3 dimensions. But to this we need to add some props. Already that's a more interesting photograph. One thing I think is definitely worth knowing is if you're going to have stuff on boards and you're going to have it cut, like I'm going to do with this lemon, don't cut it on the board that you've got there. Take it away and cut it. Also, the props you use should have some bearing on what's actually happening. So you've got the juicer, you've got the spoons for the flour, spoon for the sugar, both ingredients in it, lemon's ingredients in it. You've got the board, obviously board for chopping. You've got a sieve, which obviously you use for it as well. It's always a really nice idea to have a recipe with something that you can either pour over, drizzle over, you know, like dust, to get that kind of action shot, you know, get it drizzling in. Almost essential tool for food photography is a little brush. So this is all looking kind of okay now. Relatively happy with the composition. This is going to be cropped in kind of like this, I think. Right, so I'm maybe going to move the camera out a bit, just so I can get that height on it. It's just one thing I wanted to show is the difference between the shot with natural light coming straight in and just having a bit of diffusion. Just darkens it down a touch. When I'm shooting this, I'm going to bring it down even further. And what I'm wanting now is I want a bit of separation between the table and the wall. I'm going to move this whole camera backwards. So I want the diffusion in. That's just going to bring it down. But then this wall is also a bit too dark still. And the way I'm going to rectify that is just hanging a bit of black fabric. I'm putting it on a light stand, but there's plenty of other things I'm sure around your house that you could find to hang a bit of black fabric from, or a coat from, or anything like that. That's killing that light at the back quite nicely. So I'm thinking this is quite a good shot. I think something needs to go maybe under the cake. I might try and find a bit of fabric, a bit of linen or something that can go under the cake. So now you've got it close. So now you've got it quite close. The next part takes quite a while. It's basically finessing everything. So one of of the other things I'm doing is I'm shooting tethered to the computer, which means as I take the photo, the picture just kind of comes up on here. I'll just run you through really quickly how to do that. So for the Sony you need two programs basically. You need Sony's remote app, which will bring it into the computer, and then you need to get that into Lightroom. You're going to set a folder that this goes into, and then in Lightroom you're going to select that same folder for Lightroom to auto import that. So you want to open this app with the camera connected. What I've done is I've created a file that's food shoot tutorial, and the first one is raw files. So I'm going to open that, and that's going to take that straight from the camera into that. Then in Lightroom you want to go to auto import settings, and you want to find that same file, food shoot tutorial, raw files, and it has to be empty at the time that you set this up. And you can move to, you don't want to move, in my case I don't want to move. Choose that, enable auto import, and you should be good to go. Let's see. Yeah, so that just brings that straight in. The other thing is you can change all your settings on this screen, and you can actually fire the shutter as well. So hit that and it should come in, load up there. Got an image, I've done a really rough edit on it, just to kind of see if I like the things that are in there. What I'm thinking now is the drizzle that's to go over the top, that needs to go on just to bring out some highlights in that. And I'm thinking the plate needs to be changed out. So what I need from you is to stand here and just go like along the sort of front edge of that.
Okay.
And hopefully it should like start to run down, like not too heavy, just like. So that's an example of a basic workflow, just done in my living room, just done with some simple equipment, basically just a diffusion panel which you can use a bed sheet for if you needed to. The reason I'm showing you this is a way to start building up your portfolio and putting some amazing pictures on Instagram, getting some big likes, and just putting yourself out there. Now this isn't the end of it. This picture by itself is not going to make your portfolio, but if you start to do this every week, every couple of days, every time you're making a good, like a meal that's going to look really good, maybe you have this set up ready just beforehand and just put the meal into the middle of it. That way you're going to build your portfolio. The most important things to take away from this video are: 1, know how to use the light; 2, know how to dress a set; and 3, what's 3? And 3, just keep going with it. keep shooting. The more you shoot, the better you'll get. The easier the set dressing will become, the more you'll be able to see how the light affects the image. So if you like this or hate it, let me know. Please subscribe and keep shooting.